On the first day of Christmas, Iron Claw gave to me.
Lots of depression, one missing leg, everything else is fucked up, and there is more. A claw on your head, maybe a mom who is crying in the kitchen because she is painting.
Happy Hanukkah, everyone, and Merry New Year. We are here on Legend of Wrestling podcast. Yes, you're probably thinking, where the hell is the main person with the Sheik? Well, Sheik is on Christmas break, and that's okay because we continue to rock and roll. Sheik celebrates all holidays, and if you don't like that, he's got two words for you. You're jabroni.
Yes.
Yes, but we've been trying to get this man, the legend, the myth, the mystery, the history, the man with the silk shirt, making it look nice with the hair staying on my floor in this room, the one and only Taz. I mean, the one and only Jayson Acevedo.
Yo, that is an intro right there. If I've ever heard one, thank you for making me feel that love. I love you. That is not your room. And it feels good to
Sorry, Mom.
it feels good. Feels good
Yeah.
to be here. Feels good to be doing this on Christmas, even though you don't celebrate it, and I'm starting to hate it every more. Or a little more, or even more every single year. So, it's for the kids. It's for the kids. That's all it is.
That's right, baby. And
It's
and
for the
I'm
kids.
always going to be a kid inside and sometimes outside, depending who I'm with.
And you know what? On the inside, it's all eggnog for me. You know what I'm saying? So
I love that. I love that.
Hey.
I hate eggnog. I hate eggnog more than Christmas. But it's fine because why does it look like my AI background and your actual background are the same? That is
that's because you're on one side of the room and I'm on the other side.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yo,
We
you've
coulda
been here
just-
this whole that beard's been here the whole time.
Hey, respect the beard.
No, acknowledge the beard.
That's right. That's right. Or I will suplex you, humble you, put you in camel clutch, fuck your ass, and make you to be humble. Have a good day.
I'm gonna let you finish these promos and let you live in them so that you could see
how bad
why
they
they
are.
should
Yeah.
be,
Yeah.
just go backstage and talk to the writers. But at the
Where is that actually?
Look.
Oh, it's behind that wall. Yeah. Got it.
Well, yeah, that's gorilla position because I'm the gorilla. Let's go ahead and discuss this movie.
Fuck, man. First of all, love you, Wep. He's doing
Hell yeah,
some family things. This Legend of Wrestling podcast is only complete when he's in it. But
Hell
with
yeah.
his blessing, we are rocking and rolling.
Hell yeah, we got our family here, and we're missing a big part of it today. But you know what? He's with his other family, his real family. But hey, we're family nonetheless, and we wish him a Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah.
That's
I
right.
think Ramadan's in April, and everything else that comes with it.
Yeah. Wow. Good job. You knew that. That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
But
'cause
I don't
you're
have to because I'm not one of them.
Yeah, it's not my fault. You're right. You're straight edge. So I wanted to go ahead and say that before we even move any further, I am a comedian. I performed in 5 countries, 2 languages, and just got back from LA, hanging out with my buddy Pej here, doing a bunch of shit. If you want, I just want to say this. I'll say this again at the end. My hour special that I recorded 5 years ago. It's 5 years now. We're done. I'm good. I've sold enough at the clubs, merch. I've sold enough specials and all that stuff online and whatnot. It's coming out for free on December 29th. That is your boy's birthday. And let me tell you, if you want to go ahead and purchase it, you can't. because it is free now, and that is a fact of life. It debuts on YouTube, and it's going to be posted on Jayson, Jayson, avocado.com for the free. If you want to still donate, you can, but I would rather take donations for 3 of my favorite charities, and those 3 charities will be listed not just on the YouTube video itself, but on my website as well. And if you're wondering what those charities are, it's very simple, ladies and gentlemen. That first charity is for the Lurie Children's Hospital, ladies and gentlemen. Lurie Children's Hospital. Give back to the kids. Make sure they're getting that applesauce. Make sure they're up and about and living that life. Number 2, we got ourselves the Greater Chicago Food Depository, baby. I'm from Chicago. Bring in a non-perishable food item. Everybody deserves to eat. It's just some of us are eating a little too much. And number 3, the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. Give back to the kids, ladies and gentlemen. If you are not saying anything at this point, you are the problem. Do yourself a favor, donate what you can, 50 cents, $1, 25 cents, adjust for inflation and give them 100. Those children need blankets, food. It's not even half of what we could offer in terms of warmth, an ear, love, compassion, empathy, but you do that with whatever you can give. So do yourself a favor and go ahead and donate, and it'll be under the video in the description, and you'll be able to donate to whatever you want, however much you want, and I know I will be doing the same.
That's beautiful, man. I couldn't
And
say
we'll
better
be back
myself.
on NPR.
They have commercials? Oh yeah. So amazing. First of all, yes. You gave the real intro for yourself because I
appreciate it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You have been helping me.
Because did you know how long I've been doing Santa for?
Yes.
It doesn't matter how long I've been doing stand-up for, because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here. It's Christmas. We watched Iron Claw, and let me tell you, it was good. It was really good. It was great.
It was actually yes,
it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was some parts were cheesy, but we'll get into it.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. So yes, follow this man, Jayson Acevedo. Plug your Instagram, by the way. And
yeah, dude. Let me go ahead and plug it. All right, it's plugged. It's Jayson avocado, AVOCADO. Why do I do that? Because it's easier for white people to find me, and they love avocados, ladies and gentlemen. They're always in demand, and Mexicans pick them, but I'm Colombian, and I pick them apart. You know what I'm saying? Not the Mexicans, the avocados. I love Mexicans. This is not what this podcast is for. I love everyone.
We love everybody here. We love the ones, the Mexicans, the Texans, the Californians.
I love everyone except for the Brooklyn Brawler for some reason. So it just, it's too much,
I know. Yeah.
It's like no sleep till Brooklyn, bro. Just take a nap. You look horrible. You know?
Just sleep on the bridge. Don't jump off. But yeah. So let's get into it. Iron Claw. Here we go. If you haven't watched it, you might want to hit the pause button, go watch it, and then come back and review it.
So I think right over here we could just pretend to pause and just put some jazz music, or maybe even Taz's intro music if we're allowed for the copyright. But if we're not, I'd say choose some generic ass fucking create a fucking wrestler character, fucking whatever type of music on like SmackDown Shut Your Mouth back in the day, or even fucking take it back all the way to WrestleMania 2000 on Nintendo 64. Whatever you need to set the mood. I'm sure I'm sure you'll cut me off at eventually this point right over, and then it'll just freeze.
I'm the legend of Lord Dan Gable.
You suck.
I'm the child.
You suck.
Fabulous Moolah.
You suck.
Jim Roberts.
You suck.
Skinny bastard.
You suck.
Hulk Hogan.
You suck.
His puppet. Jimmy Hart.
You suck.
Son of a bitch. Break your rag. Hot with a beer bottle. Fuck your ass. You don't rock it. Break your rag. If you're the man. Fuck your ass. I'm the man.
There it is. There is the intermediary.
That was the time you needed to go see the movie.
That was actually longer. Yeah. So we are now back. Yes, you just heard the podcast intro with the Shiki baby, and that's what we put. That's what we put in there.
Hell yeah,
that's
baby.
right.
Yes,
you suck. You suck. You suck. Okay.
Oh Oh, we'll get into Finkel too, but I'm just trying to make sure, like, is this okay when I'm in the light, or is
Oh
it
my
better
God,
when
you're
I'm
so
over here in the
close.
darkness?
Well, yeah, you look like the Dark Knight in the back, but yeah.
Hell yeah, baby. I just
Um,
don't know how to take this off. I just never even.
take
Yeah,
it
well,
off.
welcome back to Home Repair with Pej and Jason. And as we
That's
look
right.
at this lamp, it's
Yeah,
on, and that's half the battle.
that is
So
half the battle. We will. I will light you up in post. All right.
I
So
like that.
we
I
are
like that.
going into Iron Claw. I have here my source to talk about the film.
Yes,
And we're
yes.
going to start with just getting your take on the movie. How much did you know about the real story, and what did you learn from watching the film?
Well, I think most of us ended up seeing. I think most of us ended up even getting to know the story behind the Von Erich tragedy, mostly through like Dark Side of the Ring and all that stuff. But if you're like a diehard fan and we're watching, either whether you were alive or not or on Peacock, watching like world class championship wrestling and all that Texas stuff that they had back in the day, and as for me though, I knew about the Von Erichs. I knew the name. I've always known the name, but it wasn't up until finally Dark Side of the Ring finally did their episode on it, and I was just like, "Yo, like it's crazy." Because like many of us, like myself, I knew about the Von Erichs more so because of the documentary, the Dark Side of the Ring documentary. But I also I've always known the name. I just didn't know what the tragedy was. So when the Dark
Oh,
Side of the Ring highlighted all of that, like honestly, when people ask me, should you watch the Dark Side of the Ring and then go see the movie? You can if you want. I mean, it's not like it spoiled anything for me because it already happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's real life. You will know. You could choose to know what happened before or after. Either way, Dark Side of the Ring did a great job on it. And the movie itself, um, if you go in not knowing anything at all, it will destroy you. And us having already known about the tragedy, I still cried. You know, you saw me. I was bawling because
yeah.
it just there were parts of it though, like I said, that was a little cheesy. But again, it's your show. We'll get there. You tell me. But
No,
you know,
it's fine. Just
it's
share
great.
your raw feelings, man. No, that's what it's about. We gotta go into it with exactly what we thought about it. There's nothing. We don't edit anything in this podcast
Oh, good.
except all your parts. But yeah, it's gonna be true. The truth, because integrity, intelligence, and indigestion. Those are the three I's, and we
Yes,
stick to it.
and a
Yeah,
blown intestine. You know what I'm saying? So, because
there it is. There it is.
Vicodin,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
So about that, actually, now that you talked about
Vicodin,
David Vicodin, I mean David Von Erich,
yes,
his
David Vicodin, Eric.
that was his alternate persona. Yeah, I
It
remember.
was. It was in WCW. It didn't work out.
That's right. Yeah, he needed the extra C.
Yeah,
But
it wasn't the
no,
claw. It was the fist at that point. So
hell yeah, baby. That's what they made SmackDown with.
no
But no.
shit. It is all connected.
But if I can be serious for a moment, no. So David Von Erich, he was the first of the brothers to tragically pass away.
Yes.
There
After bringing home the NWA World Heavyweight Title.
Exactly, he did that. No, he was on his way to facing.
Oh, you're right. He
Yeah,
hadn't
yeah.
fought it yet. He was going
He
to fight Flair on that whole tour.
Right.
He was in Japan getting ready to start it.
Now I have to correct myself. He was actually not the first brother to tragically pass away. The first brother to tragically pass away
Was the oldest who died at a young age.
Yes, he was about age of 6 or 7. Jack Jr. was his name.
Right.
And of course, Atkinson is their birth last name. That's what
Right.
The entire family. Obviously, if you don't know anything about Iron Claw, what that actually means, it was the finishing move for their father.
Right.
Yeah, and it was Fritz Von Erich was the father, and but anyway, that's what the movie's titled. David was the first pro wrestler after the Fritz to tragically pass away, and what they mentioned in the film was that his intestines ruptured, right, and that's how he passed away.
Yeah.
And in the movie, there's a scene at Kevin's wedding. where you see David just throwing up a lot of blood, and
Right.
it's and that was kind of the precursor to that passing. Now I did some research
Oh, it's about time.
after the fact. Yeah. So I that's how I found out this background exists. And even though you're right there,
Yeah, yeah. Stop doing that. You're over there.
hey, can I get some milk?
I will, but that's on your side of the room. You got to
Oh,
go through the door.
All right, I'll go there. I'll take that boombox. But yeah, I did some research, and there was rumors that from some pro wrestlers like the Ric Flairs that
Yeah.
said it may have been an overdose, and they just covered it up and said it was an intestine rupture. Now,
No shit, really?
yeah.
On what, like painkillers or something?
But we saw them, taking medicine pills.
Oh yeah, hey, you know what? That and you brought that up. That was quite possibly one of the more overlooked, fucking just like one of the more overlooked, like you know,
Your
one.
hair looks extremely different with three.
I don't know what this
strokes.
is though, but I like it. I look like I just.
Yeah.
What the hell? I don't know who this Arabian prince over here that I just became. Hell yeah,
Pratik, I found your hairbrush, so if you want to.
I'm over here like
Uh,
I'm one of Muhammad Hassan's henchmen. Well, actually, you know what? I'm his jeweler. I'm his jeweler.
You are. Yeah.
I work at a pawn shop and shit.
So when he ruptured his intestine, that was the rumor that it might have been an overdose.
That's
Anyway,
insane. But no,
the
you were
sad
saying
part-
that. You were saying that they were doing a good job of not even acknowledging the fact that
Yeah.
they were probably overdoing the coke and the prescription drugs and the alcohol and that
80s wrestling, man. That's kind of
but you know why I
unfortunately
think they
yeah.
purposefully didn't even like acknowledge any of that shit is
Yeah, why?
because it was such a norm that they wouldn't even have to comment on it. So you know what I'm saying? So like the fact, like as an audience member who probably doesn't know anything about wrestling, I mean, wrestling was just as big as rock and roll.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In terms of like the excitement that it could bring others and how it was viewed at that time. You know, I mean, rock stars at that point, it was the 80s, 70s, you know, they were definitely doing arenas, they were definitely doing stadiums, but so was wrestling, and in different parts of the world at that. And so to even think about how, you know, that rock star life correlates with being a wrestler in the 70s and in the 80s, even in the 90s. I mean, I think even now where we're at I think at this point, especially my generation, of wrestlers, my generation of just people, I think we know to hustle harder and not smarter. So I think, don't get me wrong, there's still drug problems, there's still drug use problems, paraphernalia and all that, whatever the fuck, you know, but I feel like we're stronger. And I feel like millennials we have our problems, but are also like our lower backs hurt just from just hurting. Just, it's not even, you know, I slept wrong. That's what it is. But this next generation that's coming up, I'm giving them kudos because they are already refusing college. They're rioting and they're not fucking around. But like, to wrap it all up, comics and wrestlers, we don't have to party the way they used to party in the 80s or the 90s because we have other ways to get high that are safer compared to the way things were back then. I mean, like, I don't have to drink a full keg anymore. I could just drink a THC infused whatever drink. Or I could even, you know, I don't need to snort cocaine to be up all night. I could just drink a fucking triple espresso shot from Starbucks at 7-Eleven, which is not far off from cocaine. That I want to make that clear. It is not far off from cocaine, and it still has its effects. A negative and positive, but like mostly negative. But like, I'm just saying that we have evolved. Drugs have remained the same. Isn't that funny? Drugs have remained the same, but the way we cope, the way we get through life, there are other ways to do that, and we have evolved. Comics, wrestlers, whatever.
Which makes me want to ask about the Von Erichs. Do you think the Von Erichs were going through their family wrestling organization now, like if they were all millennials or younger, would they all still be around?
I think that the way the movie presented it, and especially knowing their story before even watching the movie,
Yeah.
they wanted to please their father. That's
Yes.
not unique to one generation, right? That is a story, that is a theme that we see amongst not just cinema, but families, communities.
Yeah.
Whether your father's in the picture or not, you want to please him. And then when you do, you realize that it's still not enough. And that is what drove them to the brink of just not being able to accept that most of the shit that you were doing was for your father. And then even when your father tells you that it's not enough, you almost internally shut down, disassociate, whatever it is. But it leads you to even going harder than you thought you were going before. And then that becomes a thing where you completely disregard your own health, in terms of how much sleep you should be getting. How much are you nurturing your mind? Are you paying attention to your body and what it's telling you? And I think those dudes were dead set on believing the very thing that their father instilled in them from the beginning, which was, if you're the strongest, if you are the fastest, then nothing will hurt you. And eventually what hurt them was themselves.
Yes, and it was quite sad. Most people know the sad parts of the Von Erich's tragedy. What I do want to mention, what was not included in the film, was one of the brothers that was actually
Really?
Yeah, I learned about this after doing my research, and it was Chris Von Erich. We did not hear about him or see him in the movie at all.
Why is that?
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, Chris Von Erich, in September of 1991, also, and it wasn't even covered, committed suicide at the age of 21, with a handgun. And
Was he a wrestler?
So that's what I'm confirming right now. Chris was only 5'5", suffered asthma, and had particularly brittle bones. He never achieved the level of wrestling success that his brothers did. And he became depressed over his failure to progress, which is really, really heartbreaking, because failure.
I thought that was Mike, though. I thought that was Mike.
Yeah, right. So
that's who I thought that was.
So here's what I'm thinking they did in the movie. In the movie, I think they
gave him his shit. They gave him Chris's shit.
They gave him, but now Mike was also, he also wasn't really into the wrestling as far as the levels are. Yeah, right. He was the musician out of the five brothers. But what I'm saying is, that's probably how they paid homage to Chris. I think they did that. But it's going to be an open-ended question that we have to kind of see what was the cause or the reason behind Chris not having his own representation in the film. So
I don't get enough Iron Claw. That'll be the sequel.
It might have been it might have been too much iron in his blood. But yeah,
mine was better, but that's fine. And we'll be back.
And we're back. I just went and researched how to be a comic. He had also been devastated over the 1987 death of his brother Mike, which we'll get into, and had turned to drugs to help him cope. So
right,
it's almost like a domino effect with these.
I mean, it almost sounds like a Shakespearean play. It's all dudes and they're all dying. So it's you know, and I'm surprised.
We understand it. We understand what's happening. I could never understand Shakespeare. The language was way above my pay grade.
English. Got it. You're lucky you have something to drink. I forgot my water. I just have the relief pillow spray that I bought at Marshall's for my cousin that I never gave him. So
throw it back. You know what I mean? So yeah, man.
Eucalyptus.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And his hair's back to form. But so yeah, man. So they didn't cover Chris. However, yeah, I think Mike Mike Von Erich. I think he was the second one, right? He was the second one in the movie, anyway.
He was the second one. And as for my hair, I believe this is the 5th hairstyle that I've gone through in the span of, I don't know, 20 minutes. But
Yeah.
no, you were saying that, look, regardless of the order, it almost felt like while you were watching the movie, you're like, did this happen within weeks of each other? Jesus Christ.
Right.
Because once one person died, once David died, woo, it started happening faster and faster and faster and faster. And it gets you thinking, like, how did their dad die?
Yeah. And that didn't really get mentioned in the movie. But of course there is
or how did their mom die? You know, even seeing her in that state towards the end, and which you'll be able to see if you saw it. And if you haven't, we're going to go ahead and take a second here, and we're going to pause like we agreed before, and we're just going to go ahead and stop in 3, 2. So like we were saying, she shouldn't have chosen the butt plug. She should have chosen. Oh,
that's what that was. Oh yeah.
That's I'm sorry. That was the iron butt plug. That's another. Can we just take a second
and we're back. All right.
So
and, yeah, it was tragic. Tragic. No, all jokes aside. All jokes aside, this was it's a real film about real life and about the real challenges of mental health, ultimately,
or just also the real challenges of family. To be honest with you, it's you could choose whatever role you want to play in a family, but it's always the top two that you want to either impress, be accepted by, be understood by, be loved by, and it's a lot. It's a lot, and it goes to show you that, like, look, don't force whatever your shit was that you didn't accomplish onto your kids. 100%, you know, 100%. And my hair is standing up because that's how excited I get when I talk about tragedies, is that my hair feels like its place is to be up and about, and now it's going down because we're getting sad. So with that in mind, it was a powerful film. Zac Efron's chin definitely had a cameo. If anything, the chin could be in the race for best supporting actor, because I don't know what else is supporting his face from falling apart.
It collected all those tears. It was water for the chin, you know. No, Zach. Yep. So Zac Efron. Oh, dude, don't come here. Jeez, you're supposed to be on the other. Zac Efron's chin was absolutely. That's actually not even makeup.
No, it wasn't a prosthetic.
Right. Well, he had his own real life accident about a year ago, and that's how that.
Oh, it was an accident? I thought he just legit got it like that.
No, he used to not look like that. He had
no. But I thought he got like plastic surgery to make it look like that.
Right. I think
that's the misconception.
That's the surgery was to fix the face as much as possible, because he face planted, I think, onto a hose or something.
Shit, really?
Yeah. That was that's the and people in the comments, you can let us know your thoughts on
whatever you think would be an appropriate title for High School Musical 4, knowing that information. Please let us know in the comments, because at the end of the day, his chin was not all in that together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
he did. Yeah, he did have some sweet chin, and the music at the end. Yes, absolutely.
No, it's the heartbreak chin. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I like that. Very good. So the final tragedy out of the brothers that are no longer with us. I'll just do a quick rundown. It was Jack, David, Mike, Chris, who was not included, and Carrie Von Erich, who was, to me, that was the saddest one.
That was the Texas tornado right there, baby. And I think WWF did him dirty with that bullshit, knowing who he was.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think that was strategic on their part, where they're like, hey, you're coming to our company, right? And you used to boast about how you were not just the most important family in wrestling, but also the best promotion in wrestling. So when you get here, you don't get to use your name. We'll tell you what name you get to use. And Texas tornado, dude. What? I would accept
Signature
Texas
signature
Turnpike.
Vince.
Texas Turnpike.
That's that. Oh yeah, or just Kerry Von Erich. Signature. I mean, Kerry Von Erich sounded much better than I think.
No, but that's what I'm trying to say is that it would have sounded better. But I think Vince was also just like, that name is not going to be uttered around here because we're the best.
Right.
Now you're in my family, bitch.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't care about you being the greatest family in wrestling history. We're the greatest promotion, and in here we're family. But even that is like giving Vince too much. Like, no, it wasn't. It was, let me use you let me use all of you and have you not be able to do anything else after this because you'll either have killed yourself,
oh man,
drugs will have caught up, or you'll end up at some random promotion where you become a shell of who you were.
And I feel that's my biggest criticism on Vince, because if he was going to do that, be consistent at least, right? He wasn't. He was letting some families keep their names, and then he was letting other families, he was running.
But I mean,
like,
that's a good point. But I mean, that's also taking into consideration that this is the same dude who bought out all the territories.
That's fair.
So you get to pick and choose who you had a good business relationship with, or even just a good overall relationship with. And you could play God and choose who you want to see suffer or see. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem.
I am a wrestling god.
Promoter.
Yes, you're fired. Yeah, I feel that anyway, that's a whole thing we can get
Introducing first in this corner is the World Wrestling Federation champion, Sean Bradshaw Mayfield.
Oh shit.
I can't do it.
Yeah. My plugs. I got unplugged.
Oh, that's fine. While we take this quick technical break, we want,
and that's okay because I am
fix it.
There we go. You're good. I'm not good. And
okay. Well, while we take this quick technical, that's fine. Okay.
Yep.
While we take
and we are going to continue to do this with.
While we take this quick technical break, we want everybody at home to know that we're doing our best to give you our best, and that means sometimes we run into problems.
Hell yeah. And I came back on that. So I think so let's talk about what happened. So a quick recap of the ending of the movie, because Kevin Von Erich is the lone brother that is still with us.
And you know what? That's what really hit me, because I remember seeing him at the end of, or the beginning and end of Dark Side of the Ring. But go ahead, what you were saying, because it was nuts. It was nuts.
Right. And so there's this whole thing that has been ruminating around the wrestling community that the Von Erich family were cursed.
Right.
However, Kevin vehemently disagrees, and he says it in an interview. Now, this wasn't covered in the film. What was covered in the film was him sitting in his backyard, obviously tears of sadness for being seeing his kids play with each other, and being reminded that he didn't have that anymore with his brothers. And
right.
And then it turned kind of like a positive note after that, and he kind of picked up where he left off with his brothers, but through his kids, and he has also a big family now. So,
he had like, I was gonna say, he had like 4 kids with like 13 grandchildren, I believe, or like 6 kids or something like that. Was 13 grandchildren. Which,
correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think any of them are in wrestling.
I mean, I don't know. That's why we do the research.
Oh yeah. That's right. My internet cut out on the research. But
yeah.
But no, yeah, it's
and
true.
Get the F out, because it's World Wrestling Entertainment now. But go ahead.
Hell yeah. No, it's true. It's so bottom line, Fritz also passed away in, I believe, 97, based on poorly done research. Yeah, it was
did he say that? What did he die of? My guess would be like, just, some would say natural causes, I would say a stroke.
He did die September 10th of 1997. Let's see. I don't think it does say a stroke, but I feel like that is a logical.
No, because it would be great if his own body held him in a chokehold, you know?
Oh Jesus, or the Iron Claw. But you know, we will find out. The mom lived for a pretty long time. She lived till 2015.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, 2015. And
Good
she
for
passed.
her.
Yeah, good for her. She passed away in Hawaii.
No
So
shit. Good for her.
right, right. I think she got away from it all. I think that's
Right.
probably
Get the
right.
fuck out of Texas. God damn.
What a cursed state. Yeah. I mean, they already have Cowboys there, which is
Because Fritz died in Lake Dallas, Texas.
yes. Fritz died in Dallas, correct. And
Well, yeah, I
yeah,
guess. Lake
and,
Dallas, Texas, it says. It's a city in Denton County. It's located in North Texas, northwest of the city of Dallas, asshole. So that's how that works. And he died of brain and lung cancer at his home in Lake Dallas, Texas on September
man,
10th, 1997. His body was cremated,
wow.
and his
What?
ashes were interred in the same plot as his fourth son, Kerry.
Wow, man.
Crazy what research can do. But at the end of the day, you know, we're straight edge and we're going straight. And
Listen, man, I'm trying
know,
here, all right?
no, look, at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you right now, you're doing a great job. But do you know me? On this day, we did research, and now we are far away.
I love it. There is also a story about love in this film, which I really enjoyed.
Yes, it's between Kevin and Ribs.
Yes, he
And
did
Ribs and
want
Kevin.
Ribs and Kevin and Pam. So
Yes, that is a good cooking spray. You're right.
that's right. That is. I use it for my cereal. But yeah, it's
Hell yeah,
Pam Atkinson. Let's see here. I think the wife of Kevin Von Erich. Their love story I thought was very strong, genuine, and they're still together till this day.
Really?
Yeah, they're
Good.
still
Oh
together.
no, yeah. They made that clear at the end.
Yeah, come on, man. I researched, man. Jesus Moses. So anyway,
Commandments.
that's right. 15.
Abraham.
10. How did
Second wheel.
yeah, hell yeah, baby.
Benjamin Franklin.
But no, I thought the film
John
was
Smith.
very accurate, except the part about Chris Von Erich, who they didn't include. Again, I do feel they included him through Mike. So snap into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Bonesaw's coming for you, Spidey. Anyway, sorry.
I remember that. Great. Rest in peace, Macho. But don't
Rest
laugh
in
in
peace.
Don't
And you
laugh
can't
in
snap
silence.
into it. You can't snap into him because he's dead. So, but rest in peace, baby. Because low
Rest in
key,
peace.
I do want to say this. I think Seth Rollins is a hybrid between Savage and HBK.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I do want to say that.
That we have to discuss as a whole other podcast.
No, for real, because I didn't like Seth Rollins like when he was part of the Shield, because I didn't really watch the product at that time.
Yeah.
But the minute he broke out of the Shield and had his Mania moment where he cashed in and then was like the whole like pin Roman and whisper into his ear and they caught it where he's like, I love you, thank you, or whatever.
Yes.
That was what did it for me, because he looks like a hyena, right? But at the end of the day, I love the man's work ethic. I love the man's character and how he has evolved into really, truly being the best authentic version of who he wants to be looked at, even when he's outside of the ring. I feel like it's, and Austin said that, right? It's, just to touch upon it a little more before, we'll save that for another podcast. We'll keep going with Iron Claw, but like it's Austin said, the best characters, the best gimmicks, the best, stars are just themselves at an 11, and I feel like Seth has done a great job to carve that out for himself where, it makes sense and it translates not just to the ring, but to a crowd and how he brands himself. And I am excited because even the real life shit that AEW failed to capitalize on, the WWE said, fuck it, whether Punk is still, good to go in the ring, it's the story behind the two in real life that make the
Yes.
feud within the ring that much
Yes.
more palpable, interesting, and worth watching. And I feel like AEW, you know, because in the 90s, if you punch someone as small as Jack Perry, that's like if what's his face? That's if Hardcore Holly smacked one of the dudes from Kai and Tai. And Vince McMahon was like, I don't feel safe. I have to fire Hard. What are you talking about? Hardcore Holly is cut from the same cloth as X-Pac, where you put whoever it is you want to put over in front of them to see how they do well in the ring.
Yes.
And Jack Perry is not that. I'm
And
just
also,
saying that there was
Yeah.
no need to fire anybody knowing that you were the singular promotion that brought him back into the wrestling community discussion, into the sport, into sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it. You brought him back into the zeitgeist, knowing that his name was still being chanted at arenas across whatever platform or promotion. You brought him back. You brought him back twice. You brought him back twice. And you still failed to capitalize on CMFTR versus Omega and the Bucks at Wembley Stadium. You still failed to capitalize against Punk versus Omega. You still failed to capitalize on Punk versus Hangman Page. And you still failed to capitalize on so many other dream matches that could have happened in AEW. But instead, we are quickly realizing that no matter how much time in between there was the PG era and whatever it is the fuck we're witnessing now, all of that needed to happen the way it needed to happen for us to get back to knowing and respecting the fact that although WWE might think it has been number one forever, it's definitely number one right now.
Yeah. And Punk broke the internet when he came back to WWE at Survivor.
Oh, and I wish I had gone to that show. And shout out to my brother Pratik and shout out to my brother Kevin. They were there witnessing that live. And you know what? I'm a little spoiled. I went to WrestleMania 22 in that building, and I was supposed to sit behind the fucking Sears Tower Titantron. We get up there, and security was like, low key, the usher was like, they blocked your seats. They put felt over them because it's not safe to sit there. So we're like, well, what are we supposed to do? We pay for these tickets. And I stayed up early on a Saturday or morning, whatever it was, to buy the tickets that sold out in 2 minutes. Might have been 3. That's why I'm doing this. But it just sold out so fast. And I managed to buy that with my dad's credit card. I asked him. But we got it. And I was like in 6th, 7th grade. So when they told us that our seats were blocked, you know what they did, Paige? You know what they did? I don't know if I told you this. They moved us from that area to 7 rows behind first row. And I'm not talking about on the sides. I'm talking about I get to see the Titantron head on, and I get to see the ring head on. So I was spoiled. I got to see the main event, which should have been Mysterio. Which should have been Mysterio versus Orton versus Angle, but instead they chose Cena and Triple H, and rightfully so, because at the time that was where the heat was. That is where the crowd wanted to let it all out for the most. But like the card, had that been done at a stadium the next year, because for those that don't know, 22 was the last Mania that they had in an arena.
Yes.
And
dude, that's so special, bro, that you got to be a part of that.
That's what I'm saying. So like when I see all this stadium shit, I'm like, that's cool. But I get to see what's going on. I don't have to look up at a fucking screen to understand the magnitude, the electricity, the emotion, the raw fucking tension and emotion and all of it that you can cut with a knife. I was there, and I got to see on the same card Big Show, Kane, Chris Masters, Carlito, the Boogeyman, Booker T, Sharmell. You got the Money in the Bank match. You got Rob Van Dam, Bobby Lashley, Ric Flair being thrown off ladders and just going and people throwing up the X sign because they're like, yeah, this man is old. Why is he in a ladder match? And you got Shawn Michaels, Vince McMahon, Mick Foley, Edge. CM Punk was there. He was one of fucking Cena's henchmen in that entrance, in that mobster entrance. Go back and watch if you didn't know that.
I do remember that.
But I'm saying, for those that don't know, Go watch that shit.
Yeah.
I got to see wrestling at probably one of the biggest periods in the history of wrestling.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of fell off as a kid. Like the last pay-per-view I went to see was No Mercy in 2007. And that was when Orton and Triple H, like Cena had to relinquish or, drop the title because of injury. Yeah. Vince gave it to Orton. The first match of the night was Triple H versus Orton, then Umaga versus fucking Triple H, and then Orton versus Triple H again. You got 3 title matches for the WWE Championship in one night. And again, I kind of fell off. I wasn't really feeling the Shield and all that shit, but now that I'm getting an opportunity to be an adult and afford the premium version of Peacock, I am enjoying witnessing the come up of the Shield and embracing the Bray Wyatts and the Roman Reigns and the Seth Rollins, all to tell you this, that it is amazing to see 3 things right now in the current product: the feuds and the stories that are building up based on real life shit. Number 2, the difference in how, like, it's not about how big you are, it's about the size of the fight. And how it's like that was football for me in high school. It's not about the size of the fight of the dog, but the size of the fight in the dog. It's not about the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. And I think we're seeing a lot of that, where it's like, you don't have to be Brutus Beefcake. You know what I'm saying? You could just be brutal, and you could be hungry, and you don't have to be 6'5", 350 whatever pounds. Don't get me wrong, they still have some of that. But a lot of these younger guys, a lot of these high-flying guys, the hybrids between Lucha Libres and Japan and all that, I feel like a lot of these wrestlers have found the in-between of that and have carved out special places for themselves. Like, you got the fucking, the what's his face, the one who's in the Judgment Day, Finn Balor. You got Finn Balor's. You got Ricochets. You got all these high flying dudes, but they have personality. They're not just throwing themselves off top ropes.
Right.
There's a purpose for everything that they do. And all to say this too, DX has taken over WWE, and I love it. The fact that Triple H is making decisions, HBK is making decisions in NXT, and I'm looking forward to when they bring back either Kevin Nash or X-Pac to make some sort of decision for WWE, or some sort of decision making.
And don't forget, Road Dogg is a producer.
No shit. So, yes.
So
and let me tell you. I didn't know. I didn't. I really didn't.
You didn't know. And guess what? Now you know. But also, it's in AEW, you got Billy Gunn running the biggest tag team over there. One of the bigger ones.
No shit. And don't you have don't you have Dean Malenko out there too?
I believe you do. But yeah, he was definitely part of DX. Yeah. But dude, speaking of Ric Flair, what did they do in this film?
I'll tell you what they didn't do. Cast it right. It just. Look,
what the hell was that?
I'll tell you what it was.
Yeah.
We ran out of money.
Yes. I feel like they were going to have Chris Von Erich in the film, and then at the end they were like, wait, we need a Ric Flair.
I mean, what's silly to me though, and we haven't even touched on it, the MJF appearance.
Oh my God.
I really thought that it was going to be this like, yo, AEW has found its way to insert itself into pop culture.
Yes.
Through a movie that is already elevating a story that not a lot of people know, but will grab people's attention just based on like the rollout and the time, holidays, family, all the shit. But the fact that he just had a shitty wig on and literally just did a move or two.
Yeah.
And you saw his face for maybe like 5 seconds.
Yeah. But so I read about that right as I belched. I read about that, and he actually had a bigger role in the film, and they cut it down a lot. And
oh shit.
Yeah. Chavo is also obviously in the film. He also helped produce the wrestling.
Right, he was the choreographer. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Choreographer. Yeah. Amazing job, and he was in one of the first matches in the beginning of the film.
Yes, he played the original Sheik.
That's right. So anyway, man, Ric Flair, they definitely slipped up on that in the film. I can't even excuse it. It was bad. The promo was nothing. It didn't sound any. Put Jay Lethal in the film, dude. He would have done the.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
They would have been. Here's what I think they were trying to do. They were trying to capture glimpses of what Flair was, even if those glimpses were just, they're glimpses for a bit, right?
Yeah.
We're not trying to see that character come to life because it's only in the movie, it's only a step in their, like, it's only a part of their journey.
They didn't want to steal the
it doesn't it also if Ric Flair were entertaining, you got to think about that. Ric Flair's entertaining, period, right? Yeah. But if the actor or whoever they chose to portray Ric Flair, if he were as entertaining as Ric Flair, no one would have wanted to watch the rest of the movie.
Right. You're right.
They wanted to see a Flair biopic after that, and we had a discussion: is it biopic or biopic? And it's simple. It's a biographical movie. But go ahead.
It is. It's a film on death. But it's Ric Flair though. I agree with you that they didn't want to steal the spotlight from the real story. However, there's a happy medium there. Like, at least be close to sounding like Ric Flair.
But I think, but that's what I'm saying. I think because it was 90% cheesy bullshit and it just wasn't good, there was that. Not even 10% is giving it too much, but there was that.
The hair was accurate. That's about it. The hair was accurate.
But there was that percentage of, like, I caught it. There were times where it hit, but it almost felt like this, where it was like, he's getting close, but we don't also have time. So just give him the fucking camera now. And that's what we're going with.
And when they did that, they were like, we can't put Chris in this film. And then they moved on.
Oh my, yeah. We won't do a dude who offed himself, but we'll put a guy to give you a reason to off yourself.
Fuck yeah, dude. Look at your cute ass on that picture. But yeah. Oh, hell yeah, baby. I love the lighting. That. Oh, wait, that's the moon. That's you in the middle. That's great. Why you have a moon on the wall? We can do a whole other episode on that.
That's a play I was in, and this is also a play that I was in.
Fuck yeah, dude. This man is multi-talented, guys. Legend of Wrestling podcast only brings legends and future legends on the show.
That's because it's a great segue into letting the people know. I don't know how much time we've spent here, but I know that I got to tend to my cookies and my eggnog. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, when they say trust the process, I am the process.
Hell yeah.
When they say that you got to keep going, I've been going. And when they say that you got to beat the man to be the man, I beat myself every day, senseless, to the point where I know that whatever it is on my mind, whatever may be on my mind, it's me. And it's me all the time, because I am the man. And I want you to know that you can't do anything to beat the man outside of the man, because I'm inside as the man, and you're outside looking at me from the outside and thinking, what's going on the inside? And I think to myself, I'm the man, but it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, healthcare in America should be free.
Or you could have Kaiser and it's worse. So with that said, go catch Iron Claw if you haven't. Subscribe to Legend of Wrestling podcast.
Subscribe.
Follow Jayson Acevedo or Jason Avocado on Instagram, and follow me, Pej the Maniac, also on Instagram. And of course, shout out to the original Sheik impersonator, Weapon X.
Weapon X, baby. We love you, baby.
He'll be back on the next episode. We needed to put this reaction podcast out since this movie is hot. We wish everybody a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Ramadan in April. Don't come ask me to wish you a Happy Ramadan then. Happy Persian New Year in March. But when is Colombia have a different New Year? When is that?
No, we have the same calendar as everybody else. So
happy regular New Year, which is also Colombian New Year. Happy Acevedo family. I hope you are enjoying it with the cookies and the eggnogs. And
yes, sir.
And I still need the milk. So, but yeah, we can figure that out. Post.
Need some milk, so I got it right there.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Ooh, yeah!
Yeah! All right. Much love. And yes, baby, check your mental health because it's mental wealth. And with that said, this has been Legend of Wrestling Podcast. I'm Pej the Maniac. That's Jayson Acevedo. And I will catch you on the next one.
Yeah. Take it easy, jabronis.
You suck. Underjoy. You suck. Fabulous Moolah. You suck. Jim Roberts. You suck.